Welcome back. I'm Sarah DeShaw, blogger and online educator for entrepreneurs over at sarahdeshaw.com. Having a well-developed Instagram aesthetic is one of the keys to having a really pro brand. I'm not going to say it's mandatory to have success on Instagram, but without a clearly defined aesthetic, your feed could look cluttered and messy and confusing to your followers. And if you do your Instagram aesthetic right, viewers are going to be drawn in by the beauty, cohesiveness, and consistency, and they're going to instinctively know what your brand's values are. But how do you get an aesthetic? And how do you know what's not part of your aesthetic? We're going to talk all about how to build your aesthetic today, as well as my own process for editing my photos on my phone to fit in with my aesthetic. Step 1, find your mood. You're going to do this using Pinterest or by creating a collage. Your aesthetic can be summed up as the mood of your Instagram feed. This includes everything from the colors you feature to the lighting in your photos, the angles of your shots, and even what props and subjects are inside of your visual content. It can also be thought of as the feeling viewers get when they view your page. Your mood could be dreamy, it could be romantic, or it could even be practical, or anything else you want it to be. The first step to building your aesthetic is to find what this mood is. As an exercise, it can be super helpful to find words that you'd love your brand to be described as. Make a list, and then compile your own personal view of what the visual expression of those words are via like Pinterest or a collage. For example, if you want your brand to be thought of as romantic, you might have pictures with soft lighting that feature exotic landscapes or travel scenes. Or if you want to be known as practical, you might feature bright light with minimal clutter in your photos and camera angles that are very like straight on and to the point. Once you have an idea of what the visual expression of your mood is, go to Pinterest or do an image search on Google and put together a collage of these types of images. You want to pull images from all sorts of sources and places. If you just make a collage of one or two other brands' inspiration, then you're not really coming up with your own aesthetic, you're just copying someone else's. So make sure to pull inspiration from lots of different people, places, or brands. After your collage is put together, take one last look through and remove any photos that seem out of place or like they don't really fit. What you have left is a great visual representation of your aesthetic that you can use in the future to help you design your photo shoots, edit your photos, or to just inspire you in general. Another thing you can do is even compare your own photos to this collage to see if they fit in with your future aesthetic or not. Step 2, take photos. Now that you've got an idea of what your aesthetic is about, it's time to take some photos. The key here is to use inspiration you saved in the first step to help you choose your locations and backdrops, your lighting and colors, angles, and even your subjects for your photos. You absolutely do not need to hire a pro or buy tons of special gear if it's not in your budget right now. You can do this very successfully using your phone and recruiting a friend to help you, or even by using self-timer. Keep in mind you're not trying to recreate the photos from your collage, you're only using them to give you an idea of what the vibe of your photos should look like. The photos you take should be completely unique for your brand. If you're having trouble with this, try mixing together inspiration from different photos to create your own look, so you're not just copying someone else's photo exactly. So take a backdrop from one, colors from another, a pose from a third, and then try a few different angles so it's not the exact same pose. Good, consistent lighting is key to great photos, and it can really help define an aesthetic. So choose a type of lighting and then stick to that. For example, you may want bright and airy shots, or you may want some darker, moodier shots if you want that kind of mood. Whatever you go with, make sure that you're featuring this kind of lighting across the board in your photos. You also want to consider what colors are going to be present in the photo. Ideally, you should have 2 to 3 brand colors that are featured in your photos. I'm not saying you can't have other colors in there, so don't worry or get too crazy about this, but these 2 to 3 colors should be the dominant colors that stand out when you look at the photo. If you're planning on building an aesthetic Instagram feed, you're gonna want to have at least 9 great photos to work with by the end of taking your photos, but I recommend taking many more than that. It'll give you options to work with while you edit, and even if you don't use them all today, you may come back to them in the future. Step 3, edit in a consistent manner. Just like lighting, you want consistent editing in all your photos, otherwise you risk the photos looking too different from one another and putting a kink in your cohesive aesthetic flow. Now, I'm not saying you have to choose one filter and apply it to all your photos, although, hey, that's an idea. But what you should do is have a distinct editing style that you use consistently. I'm going to show you how I edit my photos on my phone in a minute, but I wanted to let you know that I have a video training bundle for sale on my website that shares all about how I edit photos from my phone. So I'll place a link to access that below this video, along with a limited time discount code in case you'd like to invest in learning how to edit from your phone. I'm also gonna insert one of the training videos straight from the bundle right here inside this video. So that's where I'm gonna show you how to edit. So you can see exactly how I do a basic edit on my phone using the Snapseed app. So here it is. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I edit 90% of my photos. It is pretty darn simple because I'm super intentional about taking photos that look good in the first place. Remember, when you start with good photos, they don't require very much editing at all. I have 3 go-to adjustments I use on nearly all my photos. They're adjusting the brightness, the contrast, and the shadows. Each of these adjustments are located within the tune settings of Snapseed. Okay, so this is what the Snapseed app looks like, and it's free to download and is my absolute favorite editing tool to use on my phone. Once you open the app, click the open button on the upper left-hand corner to choose the image you'd like. I already have mine loaded here. Then you'll click the tools button on the screen in the middle, then click the tune image in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, now we're in. Once you're in the tune image area, you can see at the top that the brightness control is the default area to tune. When you're on the brightness control, you'll want to hold your finger or thumb down on the screen and swipe to the right, like that, to make your photo brighter, or of course you can always swipe to the left to darken your photo if you need to. So go ahead and brighten up your photo. I like to make mine just a teeny bit brighter than it seems like it should be, where it starts to look just a little bit washed out. And that's how I get it as bright as I want. Okay, so at this point, your photo is technically brightened up, but you'll notice bringing up the brightness that much, like I told you before, probably makes your photo look a little bit flat or washed out. For me, the trick to having bright and airy photos without having them too washed out is to adjust the shadows and contrast to bring dimension back up into whatever photo I'm editing. In order to do this, first you'll darken the shadows, so you'll need to scroll down the tune options until you find shadows, then make the adjustment the same way you made the brightness adjustment, except this time bring the shadows down to darken them. Then scroll back up the tune options to add contrast to your photo. The amount you'll end up adjusting any of the tune settings can vary so much, and it truly depends on the photo you're editing, so just experiment with the 3 settings I showed you until you like how it looks. One more really cool thing about the Snapseed app is that at any time, if you want to see how your edited photo compares to the original, you can just hold your finger or thumb down on the screen and it'll flash to your before, and then when you lift your finger up, it'll flash to your after, and so you can just kind of pop in and check how it's looking and see if you like it. Once you're all done, click the check mark in the lower right-hand corner, then click Export to save your photo. I hope getting walked through how I do a basic edit on my phone helped you out. So remember, if you'd like to access all of my how to edit on your phone videos, including how to remove objects from a photo, how to remove an off-brand color, how to create an impactful black and white, and more, head to sarahdeShaw.com/edit or click the link below this video to learn more, as well as get a limited time discount on that. So if you want that limited time discount, which is gonna last about a week, that code is gonna be below this video. So you won't find it at sarahdeShaw.com/edit. You can purchase it there, but so after a week you can go to that link. But if you want the code, it's gonna be in the description box below this video. And I also have a full out course that includes the edit on your phone video training bundle, as well as teaches you absolutely everything you need to know about how to master your Instagram aesthetic. If you'd like to learn more about that, I'll place a link to that below as well. It'll help walk you through the process of finding your style, planning your photo shoots, taking photos, as well as editing and creating a recognizable Instagram theme. Again, that link will be below. However, feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the full course as well. I also want to point out one thing about your aesthetic. It may change. Although it's best practice to have a cohesive aesthetic, that doesn't mean it can't change. So it's totally okay to change your aesthetic as your brand's needs and purpose change. You may find yourself adjusting the lighting, your editing, or even your colors as time goes by, and that is so normal. So don't worry about that if that happens. It's actually a good sign of growth and evolution. So tell me, what do you want to see from me next? Let me know in the comments area below on how I can help you with your brand's aesthetic, or how I can help you enjoy the process of creating your business even more. And if you want to learn more about making your Instagram totally pro, hit the notification bell to be notified when my next video comes out. Until then, check out one of these 2 videos over here that I've already created. And if you want to keep up with my channel, tap this button right here to subscribe. I create videos about on-brand content creation, mindset, marketing, and more. So I hope you have a really great week, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. All right, bye.